look at this. Tommy finds kings over 2.5 big blinds. Insane.
Yeah, his patience might have paid off here.
Maybe. Look at this. It would take a disastrous run out for him to bust as he's up against the pretty much the perfect hand to be up against. King Queen. Oh wow, and David wakes up with queens in the big blind. Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
A cooler situation. And David, be interested to see how he plays this. Does he go for a kind of click raise here to try and isolate?
Rupa has actually a position on him as well, so this is a very tricky spot for David with this kind of really strong hand. I actually think he might just call and see
what Rupa does. Looks like he's putting in some significant chips though, and just hoping that the under the gun, I guess, gets out the way. It's going to be difficult to get action from a worse hand at that stage with queens, which is quite interesting because it's such a strong hand. But if Rupe were to jam, he's going to be up against ace-king at best, I would say. So David does indeed isolate the short stack, and it's kings versus queens. And the good news for Tommy is that Rupe has folded a king and a queen, so one out that we can see. And an ace-8 deuce looking safe so far. 5 on the turn, so just the one remaining queen in the deck, 3%.
Oh wow! Gosh. Oh my gosh, this is painful.
That is a sickening beat there. David doesn't realize it, but he's just rivered a one-outer to get our first elimination here at the feature table in 5. So, out shifting to the ace or the 9. The 10 is going to lock it up, apart from a chop potentially. Needs an ace to chop now, 3 aces to chop and get half the pot back, but it is the cold 9 of clubs, so straight versus straight. He can tell all of his friends at his poker club back home. Oh, hello there. Ace queen in the big small blind, sorry. 125k big blind, so he's only really got 15 big blinds to work with. He is up against the under the gun player, but the benefit for him is that it's the chip leader, so it's not necessarily going to be a razor tight range that you might imagine from one of the medium to short stacks. Yeah, he's going to shove for sure. He's not the type of player that misses out on these kind of spots. Wow. And this is disastrous for Phil, as he has been running into a couple of situations versus T-Grands and now has the classic sort of semi-setup situation that you see on final tables. Ace-Queen rejamming and running into Ace-King.
And David isn't giving this one up easy. I'm putting you on the ace-queen and you on the ace-jack.
You've both got overcards.
I have 40 years of experience.
And that 40 years of experience does give him 34% equity with this hand. So it would be a spectacular hero call pre-flop if he were to realize that he is getting the prize here. But let's see if he's got the patience to let this one go, or if he wants to windmill it in with the 6 high.
It's really so much fun to call this one.
Yeah, there is merit.
It looks so nice. It's a 6, it's a 5, and they're suited.
There's merit to this kind of play in a game like Tottenham and Omaha, where the equities definitely run a bit closer. But here you're just up against a pair so often. I think that in the 2-card format, gambling here with 6 high is unlikely to be the play here. Let's see if he does indeed want to gamble.
Still not folding.
I mean, it would be a spectacular highlight reel effort, wouldn't it, if he did manage to flick it in here. There we go.
Now then, almost even in stacks. Draws. Underdog. So with the ace-king, and he's all in. That's just covering him with ace-king. So we might have another elimination coming up, or will Phil get any help?
Absolutely loving the dramatic lighting effects from the background team. Great job from the production crew here, as ever.
Definitely. See them. So now then, no help for Phil on that one.
Hey, maybe some chop-opportunities.
Some chop-outs, of course. Absolutely happy to see that. More outs.
So an 8, a deuce, or a queen. The only cards that could save Phil's bacon here. There it is! Wow!
It is!
Oh, a sickener for T-Grands, and Phil is riding on the waves here.
Oh, and he picks up a hand.
He's king suited. Doesn't need that much to jam, as we've seen before. But David with the tens here, and he's not going to be caring about the ICM. He's going for the win.
No, yeah.
And so I respect that.
Me too.
Because David, if he doubles up and wins here, he's going to have the overwhelming chip lead.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be 7.7. It's going to be 5.7 million. So this is the biggest flip we've seen on the feature table here at the 555 WSOP Circuit ring event. 55,000 up top. And this is going to be the most defining hand so far on the stream table.
Big flip.
This is what all the short stacks have been waiting for.
Yeah, exactly. That chance. Oh
my God.
Phil flops a flush in a huge flip, turns him dead, and David hits the rail in seventh after all of that jostling around with the short stacks, folding their way to glory. They get the pay jump.
He
that
forgot
they've
his
been
cup of
waiting for.
coffee.
I think he doesn't give a flying hoot about the coffee anymore, does he? And what's Phil got in the big blind? Looks kind of semi-interested here. It is less than 4 big blinds with an ace versus a player that's going to be going through the blinds in the next hand. And he is going to go with it. There we go. That's the Phil we all like to see. He's just fearless in these spots. Not going to let go of the ace. And correct in his assessment here, as he does have 57% equity versus the Queen 10.
I'm always rooting for the underdog, but I really want Phil to win this.
Yeah.
To be honest, like he lost every single all-in situation.
Oh my word.
God.
Look at this. It's just, is it too many outs?
Yeah, it's definitely too many out syndrome.
There's a jack. So all of a sudden, Phil takes a slender lead going into the river. Ace high versus the Queen 10 of diamonds.
Yes.
And there is the ace. He manages to fade the absolute world. It was too many out syndrome for Tigrans, who unfortunately had that heartwarming story of playing for his mother's dream vacation. I'm not sure if 5th place is going to be enough, but regardless, he played a solid game. The online pro from Latvia now transitioning into live poker. Looking forward to seeing more of him at the upcoming events. Dictate a slightly more conservative style, and Phil just continuing to put the hammer down here on these guys. Ooh. And Alexei with ace jack, I just don't think he can really call because his opponent has 1 big blind. I know it's crazy, isn't it? But if he doubles, nothing changes. Phil's still the big stack. But if he folds, Dimitri is basically forced all in, and so he takes his chance and hopes for the double, the ladder.
Oh,
basically.
He's all in.
Yeah, so that's why he folds ace jack, because he wants the Dimitri from Estonia to bust in this hand, because he's forced all in basically.
These are pretty rare all-in cards, I would say.
Yeah, the 9-3 suited is not what you're hoping for, is it?
Queen 6, yeah.
But it is 2 diamonds.
Suited.
There you go. Suited
and 2 diamonds
suited.
on the flop.
There we go. So the Queen 6 holding for now, but it's actually an equity disadvantage. 9-3 or diamond. There's a 6. So just a 9 or a diamond now. 12 outs once for the hometown hero, Dimitri.
12 is okay. Let's see.
No.
Nothing.
Ouch. So Phil fades the world 2 hands in a row. He's been all in up against a flush draw with live side cards. Even last time fading the open ender as well, but finds a way to hold when it matters. And now he's going to be the overwhelming chip leader with 3 left here. Now Phil is actually not in danger, but you know, if Rupe gets a double up or one of the other guys gets a double up, he's going to lose that chip lead.
Yeah, and for Phil, like he's been all in like 4 times, 5 times, and none of the times.
He's won twice out of 6, I think.
Yeah.
From my knowledge.
Ace 9.
Well, Lexi looks interested. Ace 5 though versus Rupe here. I don't think it's going to go. Nope. Phil with King Jack. I think he's gonna. Wow, I think he's gonna get this one in. You know, this is close.
I think he said all in. No.
Yep. Yeah, with the big blind ante, I don't think
2 hands in a row.
King Jack, and if Rupe doubles here, this would be one of the most spectacular short stack to hero stories I think I've ever commentated on.
Let's see.
He's been so short so many times. I think 4 times he's been down to 1 big blind or 2 big blinds. Yeah, just finds a way. There it is though. King, Queen, 5. Rupe with the backdoor flush draw, but it's not playing as Phil has the Jack of Spades, so he needs an ace. And
Yeah,
it
this time-
can't even be the ace of spades now, so diamond or club.
Look at Dropa being so chilled and happy now.
I think he thought he was going to find another miracle river, but not to be this time. Phil gets that crucial elimination that he's been so desperate
Good
for.
game.
Just because the incentive to pick up these chips is so massive. So Alexei here with the 6-4 suited, he is going to jam this one. It achieves a lot. You get a lot of better hands to fold, but pocket five's not going to be one of those. Phil is going to stick it in here.
Doesn't love it.
No, he doesn't love it. He knows he's going to be up against 2 overs a decent amount of the time, but think of all of the hands like ace 4, king 4, king 3, queen deuce suited. So I think it's a fairly comfortable and a fairly happy call in a heads up. But of course, the momentous occasion does dictate that, you know, nothing's ever easy. You've got to get over the line now, and he's got to hold here with these fives. I don't think he's called yet, which is
that's for a count, I think.
quite dramatic. Yeah.
So if he calls, he'll be happy to see the 6-4, though.
Definitely, yeah. That's one of the hands that he really wants to see here. Yep, and a reluctant call, but a call nonetheless, and the cards will be on their backs here. Pocket fives up against the 6-4 suited of the shorter stack in Alexei from Ukraine.
Fives?
And it's going to be a 2-1 advantage for Phil. Can he hold? There's a club in the window. 3 clubs.
Oh,
wow.
And the club is in Phil hands as well. So as you can see in the top right corner, only 2 6s right now for Alexei.
No flush draw, no straight draw.
This adds a few more outs.
An 8, the offsuit 8 or the offsuit 6 only. 5 outs once.
Will it go?
Phil. Oh, that's an absolute sickener with that run out.
Wow.
Pocket fives, almost flopping your opponent dead to the offsuit 6. He turns a gutter and just absolutely bangs it off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, sitting back in the chair. I was just about to say the camera is on Alexei, looking pretty happy, but Phil.
Yeah, Phil looks distraught.
Disgusted. All the options on the table, except folding, maybe.
Yes.
All in.
He
The
just goes
choice
for the
of
shove.
Phil Gross. What about Alexei? King 7.
Yeah, so 12 big blinds effective here. King 7 with the big blind ante in play.
Heavily dominated if he was to call off this one.
Mm-hmm.
4.6 million still behind. Put in $1 million ready, the big blind and the ante.
I think if you call, we can go home.
Amazing. That's like the Scotty Nguyen. If you call us all over, baby.
Yeah.
And we've got one in 2024 now.
It's going to be a classic one.
Yeah, we don't have many personalities in the game. They've kind of been eroded by the solvers,
right?
and he gets the call.
It is a call, and Domination Nation for Phil Gross versus Alexei.
He talked him into it.
They did, right?
There's the king, and there's the ace, pal. Wow. Okay, so Alexei looks a bit hot under the collar after getting muscled off of his equity there with the king 6 in the previous hand. Gets talked into a light call here with the king 7, and we're off to the races. And it's queen 6. So just the backdoor flush draw for Alexei here. Phil just looking to fade the 7 primarily, but heart could spell disaster on the turn also. 8 is safe. Is it to be the 7?
7 and the 7 only can save Alexei.
And it's the queen, so ace king holding up beautifully there.
Our winner, the 555 event, WSOP Circuit event in Tallinn 2024, the Nolan Tolan number 3. And cheers for the winner, Phil Gross of Germany.